Recently I've made a video talking about Balkan fashion, but today I wanted to do something a little different. Instead of complaining about it, I'm gonna rank some of the most common fashion trends you'll see if you walk around almost any Balkan city. Some of these are everywhere, some disappeared, and some should have never existed. Before we start, let me quickly explain how this works. I'm not ranking these based on whether I like them or not, I'm ranking them based on how common they are in the Balkans, at least from what I've seen growing up here. So if something ends up in being an S tier, it means I see it absolutely everywhere, and if something is in D tier, it's pretty rare. Before someone gets mad in the comments, this is just my opinion based on my experience. Alright, let's start with probably the easiest one. Alright, I don't think there's a better way to start this list than with the Nike Tech Fleece. If you've lived in anywhere in the Balkans for more than 5 minutes, definitely seen one of these. I swear there was a point where it felt like every teenage guy owned the exact same grey Tech Fleece. You'd walk into school and it looked like everybody got dressed from the same wardrobe. I actually get why they're so popular though. They're comfortable, they look clean, and they match with almost everything. They're one of those outfits where you don't even have to think about what you're wearing. You just throw it on and you're done. The only downside is that literally everyone has one. At one point it almost stopped feeling like your own outfit because you'd see 10 other people wearing the exact same thing. This one isn't even a debate. Straight into S tier. Next up we've got Air Force Ones. These have been popular for years now, and honestly I don't think they're ever going to disappear. One thing I've noticed though is that at least where I live at, way more girls wear these than guys. I swear almost every girl has at least one pair, because they go with literally everything. Guys definitely wear them too, just nowhere near as much. They're probably one of the safest shoes you can buy. They're white, simple, and clean. They work with almost every outfit. They're not quite on the same level as Air Max over here, but they're still incredibly common. I'm putting them in A tier. Now we've got the Nike TNs. If I had to pick one shoe that instantly reminds me of the Balkans, it will probably be these. I don't know what it is, but every city seems to have that one friend group wearing Nike Tech Fleeces with a pair of TNs. They're definitely one of those shoes that people either love or absolutely hate. Personally, I think they look alright, but they've become such a stereotype that I can't see them without thinking, yeah, he's probably wearing a Tech Fleece too. Still see them absolutely everywhere, especially with teenagers. Easy S tier. Now we've got the Adidas Campus. Honestly, I almost never see these. I know they've become really popular online and in other countries, but where I live they're actually pretty rare. Campus shoes just never really caught on from what I've seen. And I do see them, it's usually someone who's actually into fashion and isn't just buying whatever everyone else is wearing. I actually like them, I just don't see them often enough to put them any higher, giving these a C tier. Air Max 95s are basically the older brother of Nike TNs. You don't see as many of them as Nike TNs, but they are still everywhere. I feel like a lot of people graduate from Nike TNs to 95s when they're younger. It's all TNs, tracksuits, and trying to look flashy. Then a couple of years later they switch to 95s because they still want that Air Max look but something a bit more mature. They're definitely popular, especially with people in their late teens and early 20s, but they don't even come close to TNs. TNs have been the unofficial Balkan shoe for years, so because of that Air Max 95s easily deserve A tier. Super common, you'll see them every day, but not quite on the level where literally everyone owns a pair. Next up we've got the black puffer jacket. Honestly I don't even know if this counts as fashion anymore, because every single person owns one. As soon as winter starts, everyone pulls out the exact same black puffer. Doesn't matter if it's Nike, Adidas, the North Face, or just some random brand from the local shop, everyone has one. I actually don't blame people though. They're warm, they match everything, and they're easy to wear. You're wearing a Tech Fleece underneath and a black puffer over it, congratulations. You've just become 90% of Balkan teenagers during winter. I honestly can't put this anywhere other than S tier. You literally can't avoid seeing these. I'm gonna be honest, in the Balkans, football jerseys are not really a teen thing anymore. You mostly see two types of people wearing them. Really young kids, like primary school age, and then older guys who are actually going to games or just die-hard fans. But teenagers, almost never. Most of them move away from jerseys pretty early on and start focusing more on streetwear, tracksuits, and sneakers instead. Jerseys kind of get left behind once you hit that trying to look fresh everyday phase. You're just not part of the everyday outfit culture anymore. So even though football is huge here, jerseys themselves are actually surprisingly low in actual daily wear among teens. That's why I'm putting football jerseys into C tier, not because people don't love football, but because you just don't see them being worn in that age group. Next up we've got the denim jacket. Honestly, I almost never see younger people wearing these anymore. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago they were a lot more popular, but nowadays if I see someone wearing one, it's usually someone who's older, and teenagers have pretty much replaced them with puffers, hoodies, or bomber jackets. I actually don't think denim jackets look bad, they're just completely fallen out of fashion where I live. They're definitely one of the rare things on this list. I'm putting them in D tier. I'm counting all of these together because they're basically the exact same thing. Whether it's Armani, Hugo Boss, Karl Lagerfeld, Calvin Klein, or whatever brand is trending this year, it's still just a t-shirt with a logo on the front. I swear every summer there's at least one brand that suddenly becomes the most popular thing ever. Everyone buys it, wears it for a year, and then moves on to the next one. 5 years ago it was one brand, now it's another, and in another 5 years it'll probably be something completely different. Most teenage guys own at least one of these. Some people have wardrobes full of them. I'm not saying they look bad, but it's funny how everyone ends up buying the exact same shirt. Easy S tier. Now we've got skinny jeans. If I made this video 5 or 6 years ago, they would be probably in S tier without even thinking about it. Literally everyone wore skinny jeans. Nowadays though, they've definitely fallen off. You still see them quite a lot, especially with older teenagers and adults, but younger people have mostly switched over to the baggier fits. They're not dead yet, but they're definitely nowhere near as popular as they used to be. I'm giving these a B tier. Baggy jeans are basically replacing skinny jeans now. 5 years ago you'd probably get made fun of for wearing these. Now it's the complete opposite. Fashion changes so quickly that the people who laughed at baggy jeans are probably wearing them now. I definitely see more and more people wearing them every year, especially younger people. They're not quite at skinny jeans old level yet, but they're getting there. I'll put them in A tier. Cargo pants are another thing that's become way more popular recently. I don't think they're as common as jeans yet, but they're definitely getting there. They're comfortable. They've got loads of pockets and they actually work with a lot of outfits. Usually I see people wearing these with oversized hoodies or graphic t-shirts rather than tech fleeces. I'll put them in B tier. The crossbody bag is probably one of the funniest trends on this list because I swear it came out of nowhere. One day nobody had one. Every teenage guy who was walking around with the exact same little gray or black bag. I actually understand why people wear them because they're useful. You can keep your phone, wallet, keys, earbuds, everything fits in there. You still see these all the time today, just not quite as much as a couple of years ago. I'd give them A tier. I honestly don't know a single teenage guy who doesn't own a silver chain. Even if someone doesn't wear jewelry, chances are they still got one sitting somewhere at home. They're simple, they match pretty much every outfit, and they don't stand out too much. I don't think I've ever looked around my friend group and not seen at least half of them wearing one. Easy S tier. Silver bracelets aren't quite as common as chains, but they're still pretty popular. Usually if someone wears a silver chain, they've also got a bracelet to match it. They're not really the first accessory people buy, but once people start wearing jewelry, a bracelet usually comes next. I'll put these in B tier. I'm grouping all the designer belts together because they're basically the same trend. Whether it's Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Calvin Klein, or Armani, at one point everyone wanted one of these. And let's be honest, a lot of the ones you saw probably weren't exactly bought from the official store. I still see people wearing them, but nowhere near as much as a couple of years ago. It feels like people have started caring less about showing off the giant logo around their waist. They're definitely still around, just not as popular as they used to be. I'll probably put designer belts in C tier. Over the last couple of years, I've definitely noticed more people wearing oversized graphic t-shirts compared to all the designer logo shirts like Armani, Hugo Boss, or Karl Lagerfeld. These actually have a bit of personality. Everyone's wearing a different graphic, different color, or a different fit, instead of just buying whatever logo happens to be trending that year. Most of the people I see wearing these are actually interested in fashion. They're usually the ones wearing baggy jeans, cargos, or different shoes, instead of the typical tech fleece and Air Max combo. I honestly prefer this style because it feels like people are wearing what they actually like instead of what's popular. Two people wearing graphic tees almost never have the exact same outfit. While with designer brands, I swear you'll see 5 guys dressed almost identically. They're definitely getting more popular, but they're still nowhere near the level of designer logo t-shirts. In smaller towns especially, don't see the style nearly as often because most people still stick to what's considered normal. I'm putting both of these in B tier. So yeah, that's the tier list. I'm not saying any of this is good or bad, it's just how common these things are from what I've seen around here. I'm pretty sure some of you are going to disagree with at least half of this, especially the last few rankings, but that's kinda the point. If I missed something, let me know in the comments, because I know there's gonna be like 10 things I forgot. Anyways, thank you for watching.